Hey guys, how we doing? I am so excited to be here with you on this Wednesday, and I was trying to decide what we should do today. I have a really fun project planned in my bathroom, but it's not quite ready. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments. And so we are going to do this project today, and then maybe next week when it's ready, we can do the bathroom project, because that is gonna be, I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be cool. Either that or a bedroom downstairs, one or the other. Either way, I think it will be something you guys can use in your homes or in your furniture makeovers that will be beneficial to you. So today I'm going to show you how to update one of these antique milk cartons. I think they're pretty cool. And I've had this sitting around for quite a while, and I thought it would be fun to add something to it. So that's what we're going to do today. I have some rice paper set aside. I have a transfer set aside and some stick and style stencils. And so I thought we'd kind of go along and see what we like and how it looks, and then we can add to it. I also think I need to set this aside because I can hear my voice echoing into the milk jug, which is fun. Anyway, as you come on, please say hi, tell me where you're from. And if you have questions or suggestions as we go, please don't hesitate to ask them. I love the interaction, and this isn't a project set in stone, so it's kind of fun to have different ideas, all right? So, and one more thing I will tell you guys before we get started is that, and I have to, gosh, that echo is bad, is that many times I will show you techniques and items on a smaller piece, whether it's a sign or a board or a mirror, things like that. And the reason why I show you that is because I only have a small time frame on here, and I want to be able to show you something that will help you with your furniture or with your designs that will be beneficial to you in a short amount of time that I can't demonstrate on a large piece of furniture. So later this month, I do have some furniture items I will be doing, and I'll do a 2-part live. So I'll show you how I paint it and then how I add transfers and Prima products to it. But for today, we're just gonna show you some techniques that you guys can take and learn from, all right? So, hello, hey, how are you guys doing? Okay, so first of all, let me show you the rice papers I have, and I want you guys to comment and tell me what you like. So here is our milk jug. This antique one. It has some wording on the front side. It's kind of a cool piece I've had for a while. I grabbed out a few rice papers, and I will leave the names of these and a link for you as well when we're finished here. If you are a local retailer, please feel free to leave your link below so that if someone is local, they can find you and come and pick up some of these from you. This is a beautiful floral rice paper. I love how you can see the texture in it too. I think that's really pretty awesome. Hello from Virginia. Hey Holly, how's it going? And then here is another one that I really love. It has this beautiful florals on it. And I love this because it has some roses and things, but it kind of has like a wildflower feel to it. So I feel like it's a good mixture of both. So those are the 3 rice papers I pulled out. I grabbed 2 of the stick and style stencils. One is the Tea Rose Garden. Let's see if I can open it and show you. So tell me what you like. As I show you, tell me what you like. And if I can get some comments telling you what you like, then that's what I'll show you on this piece. Because like I said, there's not a real plan for this. I just want to demonstrate how to use these. I've used this quite a bit. And so there we go. Okay, this is the Tea Rose Garden. It's one of my most favorite stencils of all time, the stick and style stencils from Prima, because it has beautiful rose pattern on it. It looks really cool on furniture, the sides of drawers, and it looks awesome on a bleached t-shirt. So you can put these on t-shirts too. And this is another one. I will look up the name because I'm not certain of it. If Roz is on here, she can tell you. And then this one's kind of like a daisy wildflower feel to it. So which one do you like better? And I'll show you that one. Somebody already says the roses. Holly loves the floral one. Cool. Yes, they have tons of vintage and farmhouse ones. They certainly do. I actually wanted to use the, I think it was Farm Life transfer on this. It has horses and cows and pigs. It's so cute. It's actually like a really amazing transfer. But I used my last one, so I didn't have it to show you. That's okay. This will be fun for you guys to see too. Along with that, I have some paints from Wise Owl. I have some chalk pastes from Redesign with Prima. And I also have Wise Owl varnish, which is what we'll use to seal with. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. You guys are liking the floral and the last one. Okay, cool. Well, maybe we'll do a combo of both. So to get started, first I'm going to apply the rice paper. And this one is really fun. It's very brightly colored. If you can't see anything, please let me know. If the comments are on your way, you can swipe to the right and they will go away. You can see everything better. I really like that one. That one's really fun. Let me look at this other one and then we'll decide. What do you guys think? The first one or the second one? This one's much more simple. The other one's a lot busier. Maybe we should do this one because we're gonna do a stick and style stencil over the top so I can show you both. And I feel like this may be a really good, simple option. So let's go with this one and then we can get a little bit crazy with our stick and style stencil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this down on its side. These are actually pretty heavy. How many of you guys have had an antique milk jug? And I think there's a certain name for it. I probably sound dumb calling it something else, but if you know, I just call it an antique milk jug. So anyway, what I've done to prepare this is I've cleaned the surface so that my rice paper will stick and adhere well. You just want to clean it. If it's a real rusty or dirty old surface, if it's wood, I recommend sanding it and maybe priming it as well, just depending on what you like. So my rice paper is pretty close to the size I want it, but it hangs over a little bit, and so I'm gonna cut off the excess. Oh, Holly sold hers. Find yourself another one because you're gonna like this, Holly. I guarantee it. These are really fun. I actually keep my fireplace like poker and scoop and stuff like that in this, but after I'm done, I may need to do something different with it because I think it's gonna be really cool. I did bleach this shirt. I can't remember if the back has, yeah, the back has something on it as well. But yeah, you can use the stencils and bleach your shirts with the stencils, which is really fun to do. I do it in the summer and I'll bleach a whole bunch of them. I hang them on my clothesline after I've applied the bleach and I let them sun bleach a little bit, rinse them out really well, and I soak them in laundry detergent and either conditioner or softener. But hair conditioner actually works really well. So I've started using that instead, and I really like the results. I like what it does for my shirts. So, but you can use either. So I'm just trimming off the excess here. Then I rinse them out and I dry them. I'll do a live on bleaching t-shirts when it's a little bit warmer out. I'm in Utah, it's really cold here and winter. And so sun bleaching is not much of a thing right now, but when it warms up, spring and early summer, I'll do a live and I'll show you guys how I bleach shirts using the Redesign with Prima stencils because I think that's really awesome. Definitely, Sherry, I'll do it. All right, so I have my rice paper cut down so it fits right in my milk jug, the perfect size. I'm just gonna take it off, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Wise Owl varnish. And I love this. They've updated their can so it comes in an easy open lid instead of the twist top, which is amazing because the twist tops were killing me. And I'm just gonna open it up and show you how I'm going to apply the rice paper to it. I'll just use a Klingon brush. This is an S50 Klingon brush. I love my Klingon brushes. They are well loved. I've used them for, probably used this one since it was released, so a year and a half, 2 years. They're amazing, and I don't have to buy brushes all the time. So if you're looking for brushes, Klingons are the best. They're just amazing brushes. So and I do sell them. You can find them on my site, appleblossomway.com. Tara, I will get you the name of the rice paper. We had a little bit of a crazy morning this morning, so I wasn't able to, I usually write the names in the description, but I will make sure that I go back in your comments and I'll add that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking the varnish and I'm just applying it. You can use any water-based top coat to apply the rice paper, or you can use the 3M glue spray. You can use that to apply it, and then you wanna, once that's dry, you wanna apply a top coat over top. So I'm just applying the top coat now, and I'm applying it pretty liberally because I really want that to stick well. And then I'm just gonna take my rice paper and I'm just going to very carefully set it onto my piece. The rice paper is pretty durable, so that's what's really nice about this. With some decoupage, it will tear or rip. If you're not very careful, the rice paper is pretty durable. And so I can, if I mess up, I can lift it and reapply. I don't want to do that too much because it will tear eventually, but it does have a little more strength than other papers. And the one I'm using is matte finish, but you can use matte or satin. It really doesn't matter, whichever you prefer. I typically am a matte girl because I feel like satin changes the color sheen. Unless a client specifically requests, then I typically do matte. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply, I missed a little bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and lift that up and apply it. I'm gonna be gentle. Once the rice paper starts to get a little bit damp from your varnish, you want to be gentle and just kind of pat it into place because it can start to tear. So just kind of baby it once you have it into where you want it and it's wet. I'm gonna do the same here. You can see I missed a little spot. The cool thing about this rice paper and the decoupage paper from Redesign with Prima is that you can go ahead and apply your top coat, like I could apply it right now and it wouldn't stretch or move or wrinkle, which is really cool. If I apply their decoupage paper, it actually has, it's kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a tissue paper that has little holes in it. It's very similar to the material that you would put on the bottom of a chair or something like that when you want to cover up the base of the chair. You know that material that's on the bottom of your couch, things like that. It's similar to that, so it has tiny little holes in it, and it will allow the varnish to come through those holes, and then you can go ahead and seal the top right after you've applied it, which is super cool. Yeah, I'm using Wisel varnish. I love the Wisel varnish. It's very safe to use. It's environmentally friendly and it's friendly to my lungs and respiratory system, and so that's why I really prefer to use it. I do sometimes use a 3M spray glue. If you use this, make sure that you wear a mask or protection because it is harsh. It does have some harsh chemicals in it. If you use Wisel varnish, it's much more safe to use. And it can also be your top coat, which is super cool. So, but like I said before, you can use any water-based top coat will work for you. So some of you maybe in areas where you don't have access to that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna apply my varnish right over the top right now. Many times when you do decoupage, you'll have to wait. But with the rice papers and the decoupage from Prima, I have found that I can go ahead and apply my top coat right over top, which is pretty cool. Typically you have to wait a few hours for it to dry, but because it has that breathability, I'll call it, you can apply it sooner than normal, which is super cool. Okay, so I've got it all applied on there. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Isn't that cool? It's so cool. It's so pretty. I love the texture you can see from the rice paper. I love the florals in it. I love that you can actually see a little bit of the metal or the metallic finish coming through. I think that's really neat. I could have painted this prior and done a white. And if I would have done that, you can see how This one, for example, some of the lighter florals look very bright and white. And if I apply them straight to this metal object, they're going to dim and darken just like this one did. You can see that. But if I painted this middle section white first, and then I applied the decoupage, I would have a really bright white print, and it would look very similar to the original. So always keep that in mind when you're doing decoupage, that if you want it bright and white, paint it white or prime it white first. If you're okay with the undertone colors, go ahead and apply it. That's kind of your rule of thumb there. So I'm just gonna check your comments real quick. I wanna make sure I answer. No wrinkles, which is super cool. Yes, the varnish is my glue. So you can see it's very flat to the surface. There's no wrinkles. I can let that completely dry and then I can add to it. But I'm going to show you two other things. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer on this live. Typically, after I do this process, I'm gonna wait maybe 4 hours, depending on how long it takes and depending on your climate. If you're in a humid climate, you need to take longer. If you're in a very dry climate, Arizona, Utah, places like that, it's going to dry faster and it's not gonna have the moisture, so you can move a little bit quicker. If you are down in Georgia, Florida, anywhere down in the South, you are gonna wanna wait a little bit longer because you have more moisture in your air. It's gonna take longer to dry. So just keep that in mind. Typically, I would wait that long before I would do anything to this. Now, because we are live on Facebook right now, I wanna show you a few more steps quicker than I normally would. So keep that in mind as you're watching. But I do wanna show you this, okay? So I am going to, right next to this, where I haven't hit, if I apply the stick and style stencil right now, it's still wet, it's gonna rip my rice paper. So I'm gonna go right next to it. I'm just gonna make sure I wipe off any excess varnish. And I have a clean surface here. I've already cleaned it and wiped it down. And I'm gonna take my stick and style stencils, and let's see, which one did you guys decide on? It is so pretty, isn't it? I freaking love it. I've had this forever, and I saw it today and I thought this would be really cool to do. Okay, well, they're a ways back, so I'm just gonna go with it. All right, so we are gonna go with the Rose Tea Garden because that's my favorite. I really love the way that it looks. So what you need to apply this is you need this and you need scissors. You can use a spatula or a brush, whatever you prefer. And I am going to take this and set it on the side again. And kind of just roughly measure, cut off our excess. The great thing about the stick and style stencils is they are, you can see how thick they are. So they go quite a ways. You can use them on several pieces. If I was going to repeat this design, I could use it and then repeat it probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 times before I would have to throw it away. So it lasts quite a while, which is really, really nice. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it right there along the side of my decoupage. What this is going to do is it's gonna help my decoupage paper fade into my piece and not look like it has a harsh line on it. And we'll be able to get a really cool look. Oh yeah, I've used that before. I use that for scrapbooking. And Redesign with Prima actually has some really great papers and products if you're still into scrapbooking that you can use. I live in Utah. Utah is a big place for family history. It's a big place for scrapbooking and things like that. And so I know a lot of people use the Prima products for things like that. I can drop you a link, Sherry, when we are all done. Okay, so I've got my stick and style stencil on here and I have my choice. So this is the chalk paste from Redesign with Prima. It comes in a variety of colors. It's nice because it's thick and so it will give you texture. Especially if you're applying a stick and style stencil, I really love adding texture to pieces and this is a really easy way to do it. So I have Dusty Plum. I feel like I would have used that with my other piece. I've got Iron Gate, which is black, And I've got English Country, which is a very light gray, kind of like a gravy color. So I'm gonna use that. Vanessa, did you, I used to scrapbook all the time too. This is Tea Rose Garden stencil. I've used this color quite a bit, obviously, I really like it. It comes sealed, and you can see it's very thick. So I'm just gonna take my stencil, and to show you, to demonstrate, I'm gonna use my wood piece, but I could use a brush, but I just wanna show you how thick it is. So you can kind of see the texture and medium of it and why you would wanna use it on certain things and other things you might not want to. So it's really great for stenciling. It adds a great texture, and they have really cool colors. It also, like, it smells really good, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but it does. So, okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take my stick. You can use a brush, a spatula, a stick, a knife, your finger, your flip-flop, whatever works for you. And then you're going to cover your stencil. If you want it to look distressed, then don't completely cover it. Leave some spots uncovered. If you want it to look very crisp and clean, make sure you have it pressed out completely and that you apply it evenly all the way across, and you don't leave any spots uncovered. Kind of depends on what look you're going for. And normally I would claim that barking as my own, but that's the neighbor's dog. We're gonna have to get on them about that. Can you guys hear it? Sometimes I can hear things you can't, and sometimes we can all hear it and enjoy it together, so either way. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on there, and then I'm just gonna peel away my stick and style. I did get a little bit onto my rice paper, which is totally fine. Ooh, that's pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love it. And it will be so pretty because as it dries, it will add a little bit of texture. When it's completely dry, if I want it to be more flat, I can take my 220 fine grit sandpaper and I can just gently go over the top of it, and I can smooth out any rough edges, and it will make it feel really great. So I'm actually gonna take, because I got some of the paint onto the rice paper. Oh, Cindy says you can definitely hear it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cindy. No, it's the neighbors. We're gonna have a talk with them after this though. They're gonna take care of that. I'm just gonna take my wooden stick that I've had before and the excess that's on it, and I'm just gonna use those to kind of blend in this little line that I've created. Okay, so don't ever worry if you make mistakes. They're totally fixable. You can do cool things with them. So don't ever stress about it, okay? That's just part of the game. That's part of being creative. You can think of it as a challenge. So if you ever have pieces you're working on and you're like, oh, I smudged it or it didn't work, like, you need to reframe your mindset and decide, okay, I can do something really cool with this. Or like, just think of it, everything's meant to be, and so I'm gonna go from there and I'm gonna make something really cool from it, right? So we're just gonna take and do, and we're just going to, well, this is still a little bit wet, we're just going to smudge and pull that across and let texture be our friend. And we're just gonna kind of fade it into our transfer. And you know what? I'm actually really glad that happened, because I think it's good for you guys to see that. It's good for you guys to see errors and see how we handle them, how we work through them and go forward with them and make it, most of the time, really cooler. That's gonna be a word. Much cooler, much more cool than it was before. Although I liked really cooler, I thought it was fun. So anyway, okay, so now you can see I've taken that line, that smudge, and I pulled it across to bring it into our rice paper. And now we have a cool transition that doesn't look so harsh. I do have a little bit of line there, and if, you know what, if that bothers you, you can take your paste on your stick and you can kind of just dab it. And you'll get less of a line if you wait until this is completely dry. But like I said, I was kind of cheating, breaking the rules. and pulling it across anyways. Yes, you know what? You're right, Vanessa. Most of the time it actually is better. I can't tell you how many times, this sounds weird, but I can't tell you how many times mistakes have actually saved my piece. It's crazy. Mistakes have saved the piece that I'm working on, which is really cool. Same way in life. You never know. All right, so there we go. Now we have our transition. So we got our stick and style, our rice paper, our transition right there. Let's add another stick and style on the other side. Now I'm gonna have to be a little more careful, so I'm gonna do this one upright so you guys can see, and I'm actually gonna use the same stick and style stencil as I heard before, or as I used before. Sorry, I read your comment at the same time. Hey Roz, how's it going? We've got dogs, yep. It's part of life. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna show you vertically. Some pieces you may have to apply vertically, so it's probably good for me to show you. And I'm gonna overlap this time just a little bit. And you can see how easily that sticks to my piece. So if you just set them aside carefully, you can reuse them several times, which makes them even more valuable. I mean, for the price of these, I'm not sure the exact price, you'll have to look it up, but how much there is in a roll, how many times you can reuse them, it's a steal. So, okay, so I'm gonna do the same. I'm just gonna use my stick and my paste, my chalk paste. And like I said, this was English Country, which is kind of a light gray. Hello from Ireland. I am part Irish, actually. I would love to go there someday. I've never been. I think it would be amazing. Irish, English, part German, and Danish. That's my heritage. It's my family heritage. So I definitely would love to go and visit those countries. I've only been over the pond once, and I went to Spain. I lived there for a little while in part of Spain, and which was called Seville or Sevilla if you're from Spain, or Sevillanos if you live there. And I really loved it. It was beautiful. But I haven't been farther than that, so. Okay, so let's peel this off and look at it. We will blend it, and then we'll have our completed piece. So there's that side. And you know what? I actually really love that I went over the edge and have this line here. I think that's kind of cool. I think it adds like a little bit of an industrial feel to it. Now, this one overlaps my rice paper just a little bit. You can see that. You can totally do that. So the only reason I'm not doing that right now is because we're live, it's still drying, and I don't want to put too much moisture on top of it because it can pull away from the piece. But once it's totally dry, I could take these stencils and I could go right over top of the rice paper and make a really cool multi-dimensional textured finish, which would be amazing. So think about that when you're working on dressers, when you're working on pieces. Think about the dimension and texture. I always think about the way it looks when I look at it, the way that the piece makes me feel, what the piece makes me think of, and I also think about how it feels when I touch the piece, because you know when people are coming to look at furniture you might be selling or in your home, their first instinct is to touch it and to feel it, right? Which is so true. So think about that when you're doing something. When this totally dries, if this feels rough to me because it's a textured finish, then I'm gonna go over with my fine sandpaper and I'm just going to fine sand that back and make sure that it feels really good to the touch. So I'm gonna pull some of this paint over so I match the other side, and I might smudge a little bit of my stencil, that's okay. We're just blending here. Okay, so there we have it. We have our Rose Tea Garden, our rice paper, which I will get you the name of, to our Rose Tea Garden milk jug that looks super cool now. It has natural rust on it, which I really love. It's super fun. So I can use this, I can put flowers in it, I could put pool cues in it, I could put just sticks without leaves on it. I could shove blankets in it. There are so many things you can do with an item like this. So keep that in mind when you have it. If you don't love the industrial rusted finish, because most are that way, you can paint it and make it your own and make it a really beautiful large vase that you would have paid probably a lot of money for. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm gonna check your comments one time before I go and continue to ask questions. If you have them, I'm more than happy to answer. I'm glad you love it, Kathy. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Holly. Yes, you'll have to try it out. It's kind of fun. This has been in the corner of my house for quite a while, and I haven't touched it, so it was time to do something cool with it. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I will see you next Wednesday, 11 a.m. MST, and I'm pretty sure by then we'll be doing either the downstairs room or the bathroom, which will be kind of a fun thing, either tile or something on the walls or dresser. So stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you guys. And give me a follow on Apple Blossom Way, and you can see the other things that I do. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.